cold weather, a head coach firing, and the playoffs draw closer. We'll cover all that and more for my power rankings and predictions for Week 17 of the NFL. What's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the content. As always, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let's have that nice, beautiful football discourse. But we're going to start with my power rankings, starting at the bottom with the Houston Texans. Good win by the Texans. I think snapping a 9-game losing streak to the Tennessee Titans, I believe. Let me actually confirm that. Regardless, this is a team that's been playing very hard down the stretch. They've been very competitive, and this is a team, for the most part, looking to the off season. But it's nice to see them play hard for Lovie Smith. It was a 9-game losing streak. They beat, at this point, it feels like a very hapless Tennessee Titans team that has just lost control of the AFC South. They were in the driver's seat. They no longer are. But the Texans, for the most part, yes, they are one of the worst teams in the league. No one's going to dispute that. But it's nice to see them play good football games. Denver Broncos, the biggest movers down, I think. They're one of the biggest movers, the second biggest mover down. I don't know if there's a better way to put it on this list. But yes, they just fired their head coach, Nathaniel Hackett. It was a very embarrassing loss to the freaking Rams, who are missing guys like Cooper Kupp, Aaron Donald, Matthew Stafford, and a team that's just, for the most part, man, this should have been a win. And it's like, you have one of the best defenses in the league, and then they come in this game and they just quit on you. This team has quit on the coach, and to be fair, it'd be nice if they could move on from Russell Wilson, but financially that's not possible. Nathaniel Hackett was always going to be the scapegoat. He was always going to go. At this point, like, they can't give up on at least Russell Wilson this season, or at least after this season. The Denver Broncos are in a bad place. It's not going to be one of the sexier places for the coaching carousel. Guys aren't going to come there if they think Russell Wilson's washed. They have so much money invested in him that he's going to be hard to get off of, and it's not going to be that appealing unless they absolutely think they can fix Russ. So that's big reason why they are one of the bigger mover downers, as I like to say, apparently, on this list. Not much movement from the next three teams. Cardinals, they were starting Trace McSorley and they went to OT with the Bucks. I think that just says more about the Bucks than this Cardinals team. This Cardinals team is bad. Yes, there's some bright spots here and there, but for all intents and purposes, defense, that is bad. Now Buda Baker out for the season, rest of the remainder of the season. It's just a bad team. The Chicago Bears, you know what? Let's give it to like Chicago, who led at halftime against the Bills, and then, did show up in the second half. But we know this is a team that is looking to the offseason. They are going to have at least assuming a top 3 pick. And they're gonna have a lot of money to spend in free agency. Looks like they got their quarterback, at least for the immediate future, in Justin Fields. He's shown a lot this year, so good for them. The Indianapolis Colts, while I do think the Bears may have a brighter future as of right now, I don't think they're a better squad, though. That Monday night game against the Chargers, boring. Nick Foles, guess what? He doesn't look better than Matt Ryan, and that ain't a high bar. This is a team another team looking forward to the offseason, hoping to find a quarterback and a head coach at that. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, these bottom teams are all basically in the same tier. Atlanta Falcons, they lose this one, but I will say Desmond Ridder did look better. He was again a bit slow out the gates, but he looked better as the game went on. Yeah, he made some costly, I would say, some turnover-worthy throws, but it was just better to see more offense from him. And they played, again, a Lamar Jackson-less Ravens team, but that's still a very good defense. And, yeah, they only put up 9 points on the board. But still, I think Desmond Ridder, not saying he's shown enough for you to be like, yeah, you know what, quarterback's totally out of the discussion when it comes to the draft. But I think at least he's shown more promise than he did the week prior. So we'll see him next week. And that's about as as good as I can give you for the Falcons. But the freaking Rams, yo, Baker, do they have something here in Baker that might be worth moving forward with? Holy freaking moly, because this is a depleted Rams team that has actually played pretty competitive the past few weeks. Yeah, I mean, the Green Bay was pretty much in the driver's seat for the most part the prior week. But, still, like, again, when you take into account, like, how many stars this team is missing, it was just surprising to see them go in and just destroy again, while the defense for Denver deflated like the rest of the team. Still, that was very surprising, the reemergence of Cam Akers. So, like, a lot of intrigue, a lot of interest, and yeah, the Rams move up a bit. Still one of the bottom teams right now. They're having not just a Super Bowl hangover, but they may have they might need to go to rehab. But it's nice to see a little bit of promise there, even if I think Baker's shown enough to bring him back next year. And then the Cleveland Browns, Sean Watson hasn't looked good, but they weren't the game this week against Saints with the given weather. I mean, you weren't going to be able to get a good read on exactly what this team, or at least if Deshaun Watson could catch any type of maybe a bit of a hot streak, at least to go into next year, and not make you feel so bad about that contract and the trade. But you weren't going to get that from this game. This was cold weather game. The run game was going to be super vital and heavily relied on, and so it was. Officially, Browns now playoff eliminated. On to the next part of the list. The Saints, the team that beat them. They, I think, still viably can win the NFC South. Since when did the NFC South become the NFC East? Now the NFC East is really good. What the heck? It's kind of wild. But big reason, like, I didn't want to really put the Saints team any higher. They got Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton is Andy Dalton. He's gonna have some, like, oh man, he's the gunslinger. He's gonna have some really, like, pretty solid games, and then just crap the bed in some cases. Like his turnovers are very costly, you know. But it would be nice to see maybe Jameis Winston. I don't know. Apparently, him and Dennis Allen are not fond of one another right now, or at least apparently he's in the doghouse because something he said to Dennis Allen. But, like, you know, Dalton ain't the future. Like, what are the Saints getting from this season? Yeah, okay, maybe they technically still can win the NFC South. They ain't saying much. Like, what are they gaining from this year to come in this offseason and feel any good kind of way about moving forward? Like, the defense still been all right, but now some of your stars have taken steps back. You don't know what you're going to have at the quarterback position. The interior of the offensive line is still kind of like, meh. So it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Raiders, like, I know the Saints beat the Raiders. Like, they smacked the Raiders. But the Raiders are one of these, like when they show up, watch out. They showed up. They can put up a lot of points when they want to. But then at the same time, like, much like they did this week, they could just crap the bed offensively. Like Devontae Adams, like, they couldn't get him going. Derek Carr's just so hit or miss. Really, the only consistency they have on offense is, well, Josh Jacobs, and he's a free agent after this season. So Raiders, I technically think they are not. They are still in the playoff race. As yes, technically they're still in the playoff race, but again, they're one of these worst teams that have a lot of questions they need to ask themselves and find answers to going into the offseason. Speaking of which, a team that has a lot of answers going into the offseason, Tennessee Titans. Things have just gone out of control. This week, doesn't matter. They're literally looking to that week 18. Like, okay, we have to, if we beat the Jags, we're in. Like, legitimately, like, I don't even think we'll see Derrick Henry this week against the Cowboys because you got to rest up. That game doesn't matter. It's that week 18 showdown with the Jags that will decide who goes to the playoffs. So they might just rest some guys, and it sounds like Ryan Tannehill ain't gonna make it back for the end of the season. I think he got the surgery hoping he would, but it doesn't sound like that might be the case. So they're gonna have to go in there with Malik Willis. So they're going to have to try some things. They're going to have to figure out how to put up points with Malik Willis at quarterback. He's not ready to be an NFL quarterback. That's very apparent. But they're going to have to figure out how to win with him in week 18. And going into the soft season, it's like now it's like you got to ask yourself, do we want to stick on Tannehill's contract? Do we really want to? Derrick Henry too, like a guy that's still producing, getting up there, but still producing a lot of mileage on Derrick Henry. But you could just tell this your offensive line's not built to sustain that anymore. Like, you're gonna have to find new ways to win going forward. Like Derrick Henry, I don't think Derrick Henry can any longer be the focal point of your offense. You're gonna have to find some pizzazz elsewhere. That means bringing in playmakers. Maybe you hold on to Tannehill, but you're just kind of like financially capping yourself. But like, Malik Willis probably won't be ready to go either. So it's like there's a lot of questions with Tennessee. Carolina Panthers move up 3 spots as they pounded, quite literally pounded the Lions with the run game. I think they got over like 300 rushing yards, or at least close to. It was just a wild. It was just wild. It was just insane to see. They are still, I believe, a game out against Tampa Bay. And also, I think it comes down to they still need a win. That, or they need a win, or they need Tampa to lose. If Tampa loses, they win, then they suddenly take the lead, and then they face the Panthers at the end. Or no, I think they face each other this week. Yeah, they face each other this week. My bad. So they face each other this week. That'll decide the winner of the AFC South. So Panthers can win that and basically make the playoffs. That's just kind of wild to say. I think they still would, going into week 18, either need to win or have the Bucs lose to cement that. But it's a must win. They have to beat the Bucs or they're out. It's kind of wild to say because the team you kind of like, they kind of need a draft high. You kind of want them to be in that quarterback discussion when the draft comes around. But a team where Wilkes has been done very good coaching, there's going to be a good case to be made that for the Panthers to bring him back. A guy that kind of got a Ross shake of things in Arizona before the Cliff Kingsbury era. But I don't know, man. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what the Panthers do this offseason. But first, let's see what happens here in Week 17. Pittsburgh Steelers. It's kind of wild that I think Mike Tomlin, I don't think he's going to drag this team to the playoffs, but I think he's going to drag this team to at least a non-losing record. And that's just wild to say. Granted, that means they would have to win out on the year or at least get a tie. Just one loss cements the first ever time Mike Tomlin would ever have a losing season. But honestly, like, Kenny Pickett has looked solid. I'm not like head over heels about Kenny Pickett, but like he's looked fine enough. Like this team still needs some pieces, but I think they're going to be a lot closer to playoff contention next season. And then the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, once again, they have a butt clencher of a win against the Arizona freaking Cardinals. Yo, like straight up, just turn over play calling to Tom Brady. Because apparently this man's thriving in the 2-minute drill or when you need him most. Like, just because the play calling is uninspired. It really is. And on top of that, it's like we talk about how it's like the margin of error is like next to none when it comes to this offense. Either Tom Brady has to hit these guys dead on, or like they're just not making like catches away from their body. Like Mike Evans has come had a lot of costly drops this year. Brady's had some costly misses as well. It's not like he's been perfect, but man, the Bucs just don't look like they're in good shape. I think I would be like, hey, Tom, just call the offense. Just call the offense. Washington, it was expected they were going to lose to the Niners, potentially now benching Taylor Heineke. It's It's not like Carson Wentz makes you feel like they're in a better situation. But now there's a good chance, I think, teams like the Seahawks, Packers, and Detroit Lions will pass them for who will get that 7th seed. So Washington, while still technically is at 7th seed, with the questions now at quarterback, and to be fair, it's like this defense has played well, but it's like they can only do so much when there's this much inconsistency offensively, mainly stemming from the quarterback position. There's only so much they can do, and you can kind of say that similar vein to the Jets, but at least the Jets, Jets have like a top 10, top 5 defense in the league. They will get the return of Mike White, so maybe offensively this team could start, I don't know, putting together some offense. We saw Zach Wilson get benched in favor of some dude they signed off the practice squad to be kind of this like Wildcat-esque quarterback. And he came in and actually sparked the offense. Zach Wilson is right now looking, he looks like he's going to be a total bust. I don't think you necessarily have to give up on him now, but like, man, the vibes around Zach Wilson are just so bad. It's like you have to be looking for a quarterback this offseason, whether it's through the draft or more likely probably through free agency, because this defense, honestly, it looks like they're good. They'll be good to go. Hopefully you could upgrade some spots where you feel like you'll have regression. Like, can you really expect CJ Mosley to come out and put together another solid season? Because he really has. Like, since signing with the Jets, he has been kind of this bust signing, but shedded some weight. He's looked so much better this season, but you got to fear regression. You really do, but I don't know. We'll see. We will see. Technically, they are only a game out of the playoffs. They would need some losses from like the Patriots and the Dolphins to kind of secure that and sneak in, but first they got to win games. Now on to the better half of the NFL, the Green Bay Packers. Not the biggest riser, but the second biggest riser for me. And I wasn't taking the Packers serious because, they beat the Rams. Who did they beat the week prior? Because they're on a bit of a 3-game winning streak, 4-game winning streak, 3-game winning streak. And then the prior week, they beat the Bears, who Aaron Rodgers has always been the Bears' daddy. This was the impressive win, and what they needed going into this game now against the Vikings. They needed this, and then they'll have an important game to close out the year against a Detroit team who will also be trying to vie for the playoffs, and then another team they've already lost to, so having to get that win to even up the matchups. So watch out. We could be seeing the Packers, they're not perfect by any means. The offense can be a bit clunky still at times, but at least they're showing a bit of life, a little bit of consistency. Like the turnovers haven't been a big thing recently for the Packers. No, there was a big one in the Dolphins game, but this defense has been able to create turnovers, and they're stepping up. They're not perfect. That's kind of the theme for the Packers. They're far from perfect, but they're good enough to win games. And against a Vikings team that seems like they want to play everybody close, that's a winnable game. They need that. They actually need to close out. I think if they're going to make the playoffs, they have to win. They have to win out, and then they need Washington to lose one more game. So watch out for the Packers. Seattle Seahawks. This is a team, at least the first half against Kansas City, I was like, and you could argue even the week before against the Niners, this is the team I thought we were getting to before the season started. Offensively, this team struggled. And then they get in that second half against the Chiefs, and they start to put together offense because they got the run game going. I know they were missing Tyler Lockett, but still, I don't get what was the reluctance to get the run game going, because it was very successful in this game against the Chiefs. However, it does feel like the glass slipper has slipped off of the foot of Geno Smith, and things have kind of come back crashing down to earth. So Seahawks team, they're a bit of a dropper, but hey, man, this is a team that did better than everybody's expectations. Really did. Detroit, man. Well, that team didn't show up against Carolina Panthers. They really didn't. They got ran on with ease. Holy moly, but they are still alive. They are not out of it just yet, though. They will need a few things to crack their way. They will have to get that win against the Packers. Then this week they will have... Who do they have this week? They will be facing off against the Bears, which should be a winnable game, but they are going to need a little bit of help, which is entirely possible with maybe Washington losing one down the stretch. But for the most part, they kind of control their own destiny to some regard. They also need a loss from Seattle. So essentially Detroit, they need to win out from here on out. And I mean, Seattle has the Jets. And now the red hot Rams. I say red hot. They just won one game, but watch out. The New England Patriots. Wow. Just finding new ways to lose ball games. Offense doesn't look good. Honestly, defense has been playing solid football. They could only do so much when the offense is just so meh, so nothing. So, like, yeah, technically they're still in playoff contention. Do I think the Dolphins do enough to shoot themselves in the foot to really lose that seventh seed? I hope not. I'm a Dolphins fan. But, yeah, the Patriots just are meh. A team being let down consistently by its offense. The Giants, they move up 2 spots despite the loss. Close game against Minnesota, but that's not saying much. Minnesota is playing everybody close, but that's a team that knows how to win. They've been winning all the close games. The Giants, I know a lot of people out here are going to be, because there's a lot of Daniel Jones truthers out there. And hey, man, I get it, man. The guy has played well this year for what he is, but to be fair, like, a lot of that's on the back of Saquon Barkley. Like, when he plays well, oh shoot, Daniel Jones plays well. When he doesn't, Daniel Jones isn't a guy that if Barkley can't get going, like, they can put this team on his back by himself. I really don't believe he's that guy. I really don't. That's just my opinion of it. It's nice. Like, I think he's playing well. He's probably earned himself a bit more time because the Giants won't be in real position to draft a quarterback. Maybe they bring in one, but I don't think that Daniel Jones is the answer that you're looking for. I really don't. You can't tell me it's a lack of playmakers. This is the same Daniel Jones we've seen over the past 4 or 5 seasons? Feels like he's been in the league for 10 years. I don't know. Geno Smith got good year 10, so I don't know. Maybe watch out. But still, like go and looking at Daniel Jones' numbers, because this is a guy who occasionally hits the deep ball, but for the most part, they're asking him to dink and dunk it. That's why we see him having a adjusted completion percentage of 80%. Saquon Barkley is taking a large volume of the receiving game there. And he's a guy that only has like 7 big-time throws to 18 turnover-worthy plays. But still, like 18 turnover-worthy plays, not so bad. But this is a guy that I don't think you put the game on his shoulders. That's just my take. If y'all disagree, that's fine. That's fine to disagree. I just don't think he's it for the Giants, and you're kind of putting yourself in this Derek Hole type of corner where it's like, we're just mediocre enough. And honestly, I think Brian Daboll, he kind of knows that. I don't know. We'll see. Who knows? Jaguars, one of the hottest teams in the NFL right now. Trevor Lawrence is undeniable. He went from what is Cody Rhodes's one of his little what do they call them? Mottos? Went from deniable to undeniable. Maybe it is. I don't know. But that's Trevor Lawrence. He was so feast or famine, and now it's like you can't stop him. Things are clicking. This team looks good. They have just taken the lead in the AFC South. They control their own destinies. I'm rooting for this squad, man. I'm so happy to see it. Good on the Jags. Let's talk about the Miami Dolphins. So we could go back to the Bills game where I was like, man, I'm just happy to see this team offensively get back to, just being good. And then at the beginning, the first half of this game, it's like, okay, you see Tua hit that deep shot to Waddle, and it's like, all right, man, we know he's got the playmakers. We know he's a good facilitator. There we go. I can't pronounce words whatsoever. But then the ugliness showed back up. What was it? 3 interceptions in the fourth quarter? Like, suddenly the decision making is just bad, especially that last one where he just stares down Mike Gesicki. He misreads the coverage because I think they were in cover 2, and it's like, no, you picked the wrong route. You should have been going I forgot who it was. I think it was actually Tyreek Hill, who's cutting to the middle of the field, but instead he takes Gesicki, who's hitting this out route of some sort. Interception ends the game. Like, I don't know, man. Tua feels broken now. He's back in concussion protocol. That's great. Might not necessarily be a concussion, as we've seen with other guys like Matthew Stafford and such. Doesn't mean it's a concussion, so I wouldn't worry too much. They said he still might be available to play this week, but I mean, dude, just looking over this losing streak since San Fran, he's had 7 turnover-worthy plays to 4 big-time throws. It's just miserable, man. It really is. And as a Dolphins fan, it's deflating. It really is. So hopefully they could turn around this week. Kind of a must-win against the Patriots. On to the Baltimore Ravens, who, I mean, this team is just trying to get by until Lamar Jackson gets back, good and healthy. I think they've already clinched the playoffs. I think technically they're still, they can still win the AFC North as they close the year with the Bengals, but that means they have to win out. So they got to beat the Steelers, which I think they're very capable of doing, but they also would have to beat the Bengals. So I don't know, man. Maybe Lamar ends up coming back a week early. I don't know exactly what the timetable is, but I know that they're hoping for him to come back at least healthy for the playoffs. On to the top, the best of the best. Not much change here outside from 1 and 2, but we'll run through 8 through 3 real quick. Chargers, they went ahead, got things done. They're playoff bound now. Congratulations, Chargers. Minnesota Vikings are winning the way they've been winning all year, and that's in close fashion. Doesn't matter if you're the Colts, the Giants, or the Bills. Literally a spectrum of the Colts, the Giants, the Bills, they've been winning close games. Do I think they could be a bit fraudulent? I don't know. These games are so close. I don't feel great about Minnesota. I don't. But you know, if this team's down, you can't count them out. So that makes them scary. The Dallas Cowboys, they beat Uncle Rico and the Philadelphia Eagles. So basically, they traded off beating each other's backups. That's great. And I mean, I came away from the game like the Eagles are still a better team. That's how I came away. It's like, Cowboys, where's your defense? Where's your defense? The heck? And what? Early you had the some questionable throws from Dak. You had the pick from, was it Sweat? I believe. Like this is the thing. Like, Dak doesn't have a playmaker problem. He just needs to be consistent. So they were able to get the win out here. Good for them. They're going to be playoff bound. Hopefully the defense could come back alive some way, somehow. San Francisco 49ers. Honestly, I feel like they're the best team in the NFC right now, man. They're playing such good football. Purdy he's doing enough. He throws the errant pass at times, but he's doing enough to let the defense win games. That run game has been just a monster. Watch out for the Niners. Cincinnati Bengals. So this time they decided to take the second half off this week, opposed to the week prior against the Bucks, where they were like, you know what? I guess we don't have to play that first half. Is what it is. This team is winning games, and they get the Bills this week in a big one. Big game. Big game. Watch out. Cincinnati Bengals, man. You never count those guys out. Speaking of which, Bills, Josh Allen. What the heck, dude? He's just making dumb decisions. Like, we saw the progression of Josh Allen last year, and this year we've seen a bit of a regression, at least in terms of the decision making. Is there maybe a little bit of overconfidence in his arm and his playmakers? Maybe it's a little bit of both. Regardless, as long as this team has Josh Allen, they also have a very solid defense, and actually a very underrated defense. Even minus Von Miller, this defense is pretty scary. Offensively, though, can we trust them to do enough? It's Josh Allen. I'm not going to count him out. He's got great playmakers in the form of Stephon Diggs. You got guys like Dawson Knox stepping up. You can't count this team out ever. Philadelphia Eagles, kind of a nothing game. Uncle Rico, this team basically, they just need one win, and they cement the 1 seed. And I think they could get it with Gardner Minshew. Like, was he perfect this game? Hell no, but he looked pretty good. Like, honestly, feel like Gardner Minshew deserves another shot to be a starting quarterback in the league somewhere. That's just me. Have always been a big fan of Uncle Rico, and I'm waiting for Minshew Mania 3. Really am. Because he never got a fair shake there in Jacksonville. But yeah, kind of a nothing burger here with the Dallas Cowboys. It just gave me a reason to drop them down a spot, because ultimately I do think the Kansas City Chiefs are currently the best team in the NFL. That offense is just unstoppable, and the defense is starting to play a bit better. Well, they did this week. Again, that could also be hit or miss. But it is what it is. Let's go ahead and get to my predictions for Week 17, and quick special thanks to Underdog Fantasy for sponsoring the video. If you like weekly fantasy or maybe player prop bets, then check out Underdog Fantasy. When you sign up, use promo code Broshmo, and they hook you up from the get-go. But remember, my friends, bet responsibly. Had a good week with the spread and with some of the money line. Over and unders, a lot of these over and unders were right on. They really were. I think there were actually 2 cases where it was legitimately right on the point total, and it was like, come on, man. So that's what I mean, man. Vegas, they know their stuff. But let's go into this Thursday night game. I almost said Monday night. I'm all messed up. But the Thursday night game, Cowboys versus the Titans. Cowboys 10.5 point favorites. No kidding. Over and under is 41.5. Personally, won't touch the over and under, but I think there's a good shot we'll see the over in that game. If it is, it's got to be the Cowboys carrying a lot of the weight. Then again, do I feel good about that then? I think it could be like 21. Like Cowboys at least scoring 24. Question is, no, I don't think this game will. This game's going to at least be like an A+ game. Like, it's going to be Cowboys win by like A+. That's what I think. So if you're going to do an alternative spread, Cowboys -8. But, by the way, we're just taking Cowboys money line. I hate taking double score lines that are going in favor of the team that's obviously going to win. I don't feel good about taking Tennessee +10, especially if this game's no Derrick Henry. You know what? I think we're going to go with the under, but especially if this is no Derrick Henry, that's kind of what this sets upon. Do they want to rest Derrick Henry for that Jacksonville game? That's going to be the big question. So we're going to go with the under. We're going to go with Dallas on the money line. On to the Sunday slate of games. My Miami Dolphins, 2.5 point underdogs to the New England Patriots, 42.5 over under. This one's going to be in Foxborough, but the weather doesn't look like it's going to be all that bad. Ooh, that's kind of cool. I'm willing to take Dolphins 2.5. I want to ride my Dolphins. This is must win for them. You could also say the same thing about the Patriots. I feel like the Patriots, I don't know, the Patriots offense, they've been detrimental at big moments of the game, but not nearly as often as the Dolphins offense has been detrimental. I'm still going to lean the Dolphins plus 2.5, over under 42.5. I'm a little tempted to take that. I think I will. I think this will be around 40. All right, Cardinals against the Falcons. Falcons 3.5 point favorites. I buy that. Just give me Falcons on the money line. 41 over under. Ooh, I'm gonna go with the under in this. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the under in this case. All right, on to the Bears versus the Lions. Lions 5.5 point favorites. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of want to take the Bears plus 5.5, but I won't. I'm gonna just take the Lions on the money line. Over unders 51.5. Don't have a forecast. Well, okay, it's, what am I saying? Don't have a forecast. It's in Detroit. Ooh, so that's it. Does that mean we'll see a lot of offense? I feel like that might be the case. So let's go with the over in this. The Denver Broncos against the Kansas City Chiefs. Broncos 13.5 point favorites. Did I say Broncos? Chiefs 13.5 point favorites. I buy that, but I don't like taking, again, double score or multiple score lines like that. We're just going to take Kansas City on the money line. Over and under is 45.5. I think they'll go over. And then we got the Colts versus the Giants. I'll pull up the odds real quick. Colts versus Giants. Give me the spread. We got Giants minus 3.5. Let me see that over under though, please. Over under is currently 40.5. Ooh, that sounds about right. I think I'd go with the under there. Giants. I'm just gonna take Giants on the money line, and then we're gonna go Saints versus the Eagles. Philly 6.5 point favorites. I like Philly in this game. We're just going to go with them on the money line. I don't like the Saints enough to clear that. Over and under is 44. I'm going to go with... do I think the Eagles pop off? That's a thing, man. I don't know if I would touch that. Ooh, it's going to be rainy. Maybe we see a lot of the run game. Yeah, I'll go with the over just because I think Philly will score a lot of points. Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Carolina Panthers. Tampa 3.5 or 3 point favorites, giving Panthers plus 3. I'm feeling good about the Panthers. They already got one win over the Buccaneers. They need this one and they need it bad. Over under is 39.5. Give me the under. Got the Browns versus the Commanders. Commanders 2.5 point favorites. It's a must win for them. So we're gonna go with the Commanders. Guys, it kind of depends on who's the quarterback, but I think they'll be fine in this outing. Over under is 40.5. I'm gonna go with the under in this one as well. Jaguars versus the Texans. Jags are 4 point favorites. Just give me the Jags on the money line. 4 is not enough for me to be like, hey, this Texans team's playing teams competitively. I would have liked that to be at least at 5.5. That would have been nice. Over and under is 43.5. I think they'll score points. Let's go with the over. 49ers take on the Raiders. Niners 5.5 point favorites. Just give me them on the money line. I think the Raiders could surprise here, but I don't feel great about it. Over and under is 44.5, and I think they'll clear that. I really do. I think I know the Raiders offense is so hit or miss, but if they're trailing enough, I think they'll sling the ball quite a bit, and maybe they can work their way to 14, 17 points. That way the Niners could clear the rest of that. That would mean, though, they would be scoring 31. Yeah, let's stick with the over. Let's go with the Jets versus the Seahawks. We got the Jets 2.5 point favorites. Am I feeling ballsy to take the Seahawks? I think I am. No Tyler Lockett. Am I still feeling ballsy? Yeah, I'm feeling ballsy. Let's go with the Seahawks 2.5. Over under is 42.5. Feel like they would have to hit the over, though it's the Jets. It's a Jets team that likes the under. You know what, man? Seahawks have been really I don't know, man. Maybe they can force Mike White into some mistakes. This is probably the toughest one to call. I think I'm starting to lean Jets on the money line, but let's stick with Seahawks plus 2.5. Over under is 42.5. Let's go with the under there. Packers versus Vikings, must win. Must win for the Packers. That's why they are 3-point favorites. Give me Minnesota plus 3. I like that. I think there's a good chance they win this game, but we know Minnesota, they're going to make it close. Over under is 47.5. Something tells me to pick the under in this game. And then we got the Rams versus the Chargers. Let me pull up those odds real quick. I imagine Chargers are going to be like 5.5-point favorites, maybe 4.5 actually. Here we go. Odds. 3.5. Ooh, I thought it'd be greater than that. I really did. I mean, they did just clinch the playoffs, but seeding kind of matters, right? Or does it? There ain't no way. There ain't no way the over and under is 30.5. There's no way. No way. Hold on. I'm gonna go find me. Okay, here we go. Oh. Huh. All right. So we got over under 40.5, but DraftKings is giving me a 7-point spread. If that's the case, I will take Rams plus 7. I'll take Rams plus 7. And over under 40.5. Give me the over. Excuse me. I almost said oven. I don't know why. Steelers versus the Ravens. Ravens 3-point favorites. I don't like the Steelers enough to take. Well, I mean, okay. When does Lamar come back? Let's answer that question. Lamar Jackson return. All right. So it looks like there's a good chance they hold him out until it's a good chance that they hold him out until the playoffs. Yeah, because you got John Harbaugh like out here saying he doesn't care about playoff seeding. He just wants to get his quarterback healthy, which probably we won't see him until the playoffs. So that's changed my pick. Do I start to like the Steelers here plus 3? I think I do. Over and under is 36. Let's go with the under there. It's not like these teams are going to be scoring a lot of points. And then the Monday night game, we got the Bills versus the Bengals. Honestly, I feel like I'm going to have to do a watch along with this. Maybe this is when we'll start the Walk the Mock series. If you're not familiar with that, check out the description. It's pretty fun. You select a team and we do a mock draft in real time. You draft for that team. It's a load of fun. But Bills, early 1-point favorites. Essentially, is going to be a pick'em game. I really like the Bengals coming into this game. This is at home. Give me the Bengals just on the money line. Give me, because straight up, just give me more money. Just put it on the money line. Over under is 49.5. Will that come to fruition? I think it will. We'll go with the over. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. That's it for the video. Go ahead, do the YouTube thing as always. Until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.